Pause. Well, without further ado, I see he's all set this week, and I hope that the gremlins are out. His guest is on, and let's welcome for some conversation with my good friend, Mr. Miguel. Where's Miguel? Miguel, where are you? Miguel, Miguel. Oh, Miguel, Melbourne. There you are, with a Jamaican flag on your lapel. Is that you?
That is it. You know it. Erwin, a good evening to you, and a good evening to our distinguished listeners wherever in the world you're tuning in from. We thank you. My name is Miguel Anthony Melbourne. This week on Melbourne Motivation, I'm excited to introduce to you a young leading physician of Caribbean descent. So let me tell you a bit more. Dr. Cerise Adams is a Guyanese, first generation American born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. Dr. Adams is currently an attending physician and surgeon in private practice in Flatbush, Brooklyn at Millennial Foot Care. She renders care such as diabetic foot evaluations, routine care, wound care, limb salvage, dermatological conditions of the foot and ankle, as well as surgical procedures relating to foot and ankle trauma, pathologies, and much, much more. Dr. Adams graduated from Temple University School of Podiatric Medicine in Philadelphia. She later went on to St. Barnabas Hospital in the Bronx for residency, a level 1 trauma center where she completed 4 years of training and rose to the level of chief resident during her final year. In her spare time, Dr. Adams enjoys spending time with her friends and family, which includes assisting her husband with his restaurant, The Quarter, located in Fort Greene, Brooklyn. And so with that, I say, Dr. Adams, welcome to Iron Jam in the Bridge. How are you feeling today?
I am feeling blessed. Thank you for that welcome. It's a pleasure to be on here talking to you and all the listeners. Thank you for this opportunity.
Absolutely. And as Erin was leading in, I heard that healthcare was on the agenda tonight. So look at that. We are still in the healthcare space. So Dr. Adams, where I want to start, I want to let you know that I'm personally inspired by your story because I think you represent a very important role model for our diaspora, especially knowing the value of Caribbean parents putting into the medical field and the genuine interest students have in being doctors and nurses and physicians. Absolutely. Right. And so what I'd love for you to do, Dr. Adams, is just start by shouting out some of the people and the education institutions that you are grateful to have had in your life as support systems that championed your dream of being the physician you are today.
Absolutely. I cannot be here today without, of course, my parents, Mr. and Mrs. Adams. I know they're listening. They are my backbone. They are the reasons why I am the person I am today. My friends and family have a very extensive support system. I cannot, there's so many people to name, but they know who they are. So thank you to my friends, my family, my cousins, near and far. Institutions, Clara Barton High School. Yes, I am an alumna of Clara Barton High School in Brooklyn. And that's where my studies, my career path started towards medicine. As many know that when I was younger, I was one of those kids who wanted to become a doctor very young. I was one of those kids who loved going to the pediatrician because she was also a person who inspired me. So shout out to Dr. Libramonte. I know she's no longer practicing, but she was my mentor from early. And, when I told her my interest in medicine, what I wanted to do, what I wanted to be, she paved the way for guidance, just pep talks. She put me in touch with so many people in the field. She even wrote me my letter of recommendation for medical school. So that is how close we were. And it's very important that if you see someone as a mentor, you hold on dear to them because you never know where they could take you. And it just takes one person. So I'm definitely blessed for having her and my family and my friends for paving the way and making me who I am.
Absolutely. Dr. Adams, you sound like one of the very few children that actually like going to the doctor, that like going to a pediatrician. But it makes sense because here you are. So Absolutely. So that's why I had to start there. Being in college, I know a lot of colleagues that started pre-med and ended up in marketing because, it's not an easy journey. So that support system, as you mentioned, is absolutely critical. Appreciate that. Well, what I wanted to ask you next, Dr. Adams, because I think, as a young person growing up, our hope is to manifest a career doing something we're really good at and that we love. And so often we find that role takes us outside of our neighborhood. Can you
Mhm.
just detail for us what went into your decision to specialize in podiatry, and how meaningful does it feel to you to be personally serving the city and community that you grew up in?
Yes, absolutely. So, like I said, I always wanted to become a doctor. Wasn't sure what I wanted to specialize in. I did shadow quite a few doctors, OBGYNs, family practitioners, like my pediatrician, um, surgeons, but I know that I wanted to use my hands. I love working with my hands. I didn't want to not only be a provider that have the conversation and ultimately prescribe a treatment. I wanted to do things. So I looked into the field of surgery and I came across podiatry because podiatry, we are foot and ankle specialized physicians and surgeons. Um, we do everything from treating disorders on the feet, diabetic care, like you mentioned, wound care, but we also practice surgery, trauma, bunions, hammer toes, all of things related to the foot and ankle, we are surgically trained to do. And I also knew that I wanted to have a family lifestyle. Family is very, very important to me. I wanted to be able to do my career, excel in my career, but also be able to come home, not have a crazy call schedule where I'm running back and forth to the hospital. We do have emergencies in podiatry, but not a lot. And the good thing about private practice is that, I have a set schedule hours. And if I need to take care of something, I can plan for it, whether it's elective surgery or I can refer to someone that's in a hospital to take care of it. So that's the beauty of that podiatry where it's diverse. I can become a private care physician and I can also be a surgeon on ultimately my own terms.
Dr. Adams, in my mind, in my brain, what you do, being in the medical field, it's nothing short of being superheroes, right? And, work inside of a lot of schools. And when we ask students, hey, what do you want to be? So many students say medicine. And there goes the second part that they need to figure out, well, what part of medicine? And so to hear how you chose your journey and what you were looking for ultimately and the lifestyle you wanted to lead, it's so, so important. And so with that, Doc, we have you here, and I can't let you go without soliciting some free advice from you, right? And so can you just offer us one or two pieces of advice on some practical things we can do every day in terms of preventative measures, right, to maintain healthy feet and just body?
Absolutely. First and foremost, and I know a lot of us grew up in the West Indies and the Caribbean, you should not be walking barefooted. At no circumstances, indoors and outdoors, you should be barefooted. There's a lot of germs and a lot of accidents that could happen. I actually took out quite a few things these past couple of weeks, glass, splinters, a lot of things, especially in the summertime where our foot is on sandals and we're walking a lot. You want to be careful. So you always want to walk with a shoe, a slipper, um, even indoors. Second thing I would suggest is when you are exercising and walking and becoming active, which is important. I think we should definitely get exercise in at least 3 times a week. You want to have supportive sneakers. And when I mean supportive sneakers, I mean sneakers with arch supports. You don't want anything too flat. The arch is very important in a shoe. It's holding up actually your whole body. So you definitely want to invest in a good quality sneaker, especially when you're working out at the gym, running, exercising. Definitely invest in a good sneaker. It will go a long way.
I love this piece of advice, Dr. Adams, because truthfully, my personal belief is that our feet were the first vehicles, right? And
Absolutely.
oftentimes we don't think about our feet until something went wrong, right? And so
Exactly.
we have to take care of it, you know. So thank you so much. I remember back in high school, my basketball coach would always tell us you have to take care of your feet. If your feet
Hmm.
are not working, you cannot play the sport that you love, right? And so here we are as kids, adults, we have to put in that same effort to maintain, right, a healthy feet. Um,
Exactly.
as we wrap, this is what I'd love for you to do next, Dr. Adam, because you know, in many ways, you are an expert in what it takes to fulfill the journey of being a top medical profession, and importantly, you're in private practice. And as we know, there are millions of young boys and girls in the States and across the Caribbean who do have an interest in pre med. And so, what advice would you like to leave with them about the journey or the lifestyle they can ultimately create for themselves?
Absolutely. If you have a passion, you go for it. No matter what obstacles may be faced, everything is not going to be easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it, like they say. So, as long as you have a goal and a passion, you can achieve it. Sometimes it may not happen in the time span that you want. Every no is not a failure. You keep going until you reach that goal. You find mentorship. And a lot of people don't know this, but there's a lot of resources, especially for us Black, Brown, uh, pre med focused students. There are a lot of resources out there. So invest the time to do your research. There are a lot of people willing to uh, have you come in and shadow. Um, you know, it it takes a little bit of a discipline because it's not easy. Trust me. There's going to be times where you regret the decision you make. But if you stay the course and you rely on your support system, you vent, you cry, and you pick right back up the next day, it will all work out. It will all work out. So keep the faith, rely on your support system, seek out mentors, study, and just work hard, and you will achieve whatever goal that you set forth.
Absolutely. I Thanks for sharing that. You know, it's a lot of parents who offer that same advice, but trust me, it sounds different coming from someone who has walked the road, who has done it, and is now at the height of their career. So I want to thank you so much, Dr. Adams, Changemaker. Thank you for sharing this meaningful conversation with us on Melbourne Motivation. Can you please tell our listening audience where they can learn more about your practice? How can they utilize your service, and how can they connect with you?
Absolutely. You can find me on my website. My practice website is Millennial Foot Care. That's MILLENNIAL, footcare.com. You can book an appointment through there. We're also on ZocDoc. Myself and my partner, Dr. Joseph, who is the owner of the practice. You can link me on LinkedIn. You can just search my name, Cerise, Cerise Adams. On IG, I'm Dr. _Cerise. And I also want to shout out my husband because I didn't shout him out in the beginning. And this man has been with me for the past 5 years, holding me down, and he has seen it all. So I want to shout out my husband as well as his restaurant, The Quarter in Fort Greene, Brooklyn. Um, Amazing food. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
Fantastic, fantastic. Shout out Javi. Absolutely. Some strong men down out there holding down the strong queens, making it happen. Thank you so much, Dr.
Yes.
Adams. Erwin,
Thank you very much, Dr. Adams. And Miguel, how could we remain in contact with you?
absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, my personal and professional goals are to help the youth be best prepared for college, career, and beyond so that we can have more Dr. Adams out there. Visit pathwithapurposenyc.com. Use the code IRIE, IRIE, for a discount when purchasing our college study flashcards. Follow Melbourne Motivation on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. But until next time, please be safe and live with big energy. Erwin, catch you next week.
Always. And walk good, Dr. Adams, and walk good to you too, Miguel.
Thank you.
One love, one love. There you have it. Conversations.